I like to say Barak the Yahweh, Barak the Yahweh Shah, Barak the Yahweh, Barak the Yahweh Shah, Bahashem Rakah HaKadosh, double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS, and salutations to you brothers out there that's doing this work and truth and sincerity. So this is Jeremiah 50 and 15. It says, shout against her round about, she have given her hand, her foundations have fallen, her walls are thrown down, which is America, right? This this place defense system is becoming weakened, and this is why these nations, are as bold as they are now. Before, these nations wasn't as bold against America as they are now, right? So that goes to show you that America's defense system is being thrown down, and the defense system not only is represented as missile defense systems or cyber attack defense systems. It also can be recognized as a defense system from the truth, because in order to keep people from knowing the truth, like the banking systems and things like that, these elite bankers have to set up a defense system against those that try to use offense to get the truth and to relay that truth to the people. And what's happening is that that defense system is now being broken, because before, people didn't know anything about the Illuminati, and now you had whistleblowers coming out about the Illuminati. Esau was trying to hide the truth about the UFOs, and now they're having council meetings on the UFOs. Esau have set up many defense mechanisms in order to keep people from the truth, but not only for the truth, but also military defense systems. But again, all of that's being broken down. So again, it says, shout against her round about, she have given her hand, her foundations are fallen, because this is what's coming. The foundations of America is fallen. Now, America hasn't as of yet fallen, but the foundations are falling. And when you have the foundation and the structure start breaking down, for an example, when you have a house, right? And when a house starts to break down from the foundations, that means under that foundation is being broken down, because of the dirt that's holding up that foundation isn't stabilized. So if that dirt isn't stabilized, then the foundation, which is the concrete, start breaking down and sinking into the dirt. And that's what's happening, is that foundation that's holding this place up, it's resources, and its resources are being burnt up, right? Its resources are becoming overvalued, overpriced or overvalued. That's what's happening with this place, man, right? So it says, shout against her round about, she have given her hand, her foundations are fallen, her walls are thrown down, for it is the vengeance of the Lord, right? This is the vengeance of the Lord. Now, when you go into the book of Deuteronomy, the 32nd chapter, right, the 35th verse, the scripture says, to me belongeth vengeance and recompense, their foot shall slay in due time, for the day of their calamity is at hand, and the things that shall come upon them make haste, right? And that vengeance is coming due to the fact that America and all you nations have had Israel into captivity, and you have done, you have done many evils upon the Lord's chosen people. So the Lord is about to bring that vengeance upon you by way of his people, and by way of economic crash, and by way of nuclear destruction, which is World War III, right? So let's go back to this Jeremiah 50. Jeremiah 50 and 16. So it says, cut off the sower from Babylon, and the sower is the worker, right? So that's how the scriptures is prophesying of a recession. And even worse than that, once the recession kicks in and people start to lose their jobs, then it's going to come into play to where you people really won't have jobs. And it tells you that in the book of I want to say Ecclesiastes, maybe 12:3 or something like that, right? So all work is gonna come to a halt. And I mentioned in a few times in my videos that it's been rumors going around that the U.S. is planning on, doing another shutdown in America, right? It says, cut off the sword from Babylon, and him that handleth the sickle in the time of harvest. So this is how you know that, the crops are going to be affected. Right now, you got the wheat that is affected due to the war in Russia and Ukraine, right? It says, for fear of the oppressing sword, they shall turn every one to his people. And this is what's coming, man. A lot of you Japanese and Chinese people, you're going to return back into Japan and China. A lot of you Arabs that come here and set up corner stores, you're going to go right back to where you from, whether it's Afghanistan, Iran, Iraq, whatever. You're going to return back into your homeland, right? It says, and they shall flee everyone to his own land. Right there, see? It says, Israel is a scattered sheep, which means the so-called Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans. We are a scattered sheep. We are everywhere, right? And you don't have to look like a so-called Negro or Hispanic or Native American to be an Israelite, man. As long as your lineage goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, you can look like a so-called white man and be an Israelite. But only the Spirit can tell, which means if they could understand this word, then they are Israelites, right? Israel is a scattered sheep. The lions have driven them away. First, the king of Assyria, right? And you can go back to the book of Kings and go into the history of Salmanazar removing the northern kingdom out of Samaria, right? It says, have devoured him. And last, this Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, which are Hamites, when we went into captivity in Babylon during the time of Daniel's. It says, Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, have broken his bones. Therefore, thus saith the Lord of hosts, the power of Israel, behold, I will punish the king of Babylon and his land, as I have punished the king of Assyria. And I will bring Israel again to his habitation, and he shall feed on Carmel and Bashan, and his soul shall be satisfied upon Ephraim and Gilead. In those days and in that time, saith the Lord, the iniquity of Israel shall be sought for, and there shall be none, and the sins of Judah, and they shall not be found, for I will pardon them whom I have reserved. And this is what a lot of you false Christians have to understand, is prophecy. It's prophecy, right? A lot of you believe that when the Lord has sent his son, when Yahweh, who you inwardly call God, have sent his son Yahweh Shah, who you inwardly call Jesus Christ, that he sent his son to have Paul and Peter go into the Gentiles, referring to the other nations, and to teach them and to bring them unto him. No, the Gentiles that he sent Paul and Peter to go preach to, right, were Israelites that were scattered, right? And if we go back up a couple verses, it's telling you about the scattered Israelites. This is a prophecy that have not come to pass yet, right? The Lord said that he was going to gather his people from the nations. That have not happened yet, right? The Lord have not gathered his people from the different lands and have set them in the land of Israel, right? And you could see that, in fact, the so-called Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans are the Israelites, because they are hard-headed as people, man. And all through the scriptures, you could see that the Israelites of old were hard-headed as people, plain and simple. It says, go up against the land of Marthium, right? Which is another name for Babylon. even against it and against the inhabitations of Pekod, which is the army of Babylon, waste and utterly destroy after them, saith the Lord, and do according to all that I have commanded thee. And this is why you're gonna have that battle. And Jehoshaphat which is the what is it, the city of judgment, right? And this is why you also have the Euphrates drying up, because this is where these armies are gonna meet and do battle. It says a sound of battle is in the land, and of a great destruction, and this is coming. You know, for the past, you know, what would it been 4-5 months now? You've been having nothing but threat of war and nuclear war, right? It says, how is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken, which is America? This is the whole hammer of the earth. Why? Because they go out of their way to come up with lies to go invade and to control that nation, right? And say, oh, well, you know, they got weapons of mass destruction. We're going to do this and this and that and the third. Well, look, Russia got weapons of mass destruction. You ain't invading Russia. No, North Korea got weapons of mass destruction. You're not going to go and go to war with North Korea, Iran, Turkey. But the point is that you're not going to go and invade these nations is because they have weapons of mass destruction. And Vladimir Putin right now, he's itching to use one, right? He's still on that last bottle of vodka that he pulls out of his drawer in the morning. He takes sips of it, and he looks at that red button or the keys, right? It says, how is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How has Babylon become a desolation among the nations? I have laid a snare for thee, right? So the Lord have laid a trap for Babylon. It says, and thou art also taken, O Babylon, and thou wast not aware, thou art found, and also caught, because thou hast striven against the Lord, right? Yahweh. The Lord, Yahweh, have opened up his armory and have brought forth the weapons of his indignation, which is what, man? Which is those thermal nuclear missiles, those ballistic missiles, those miniature warheads, right? These are the Lord's weapons of war, right? And the Lord is going to use that to lay desolation, America, to lay desolation, Israel. And some of these nations are going to feel the effects of these missiles, man, right? So the Lord armory is open and he's prepared to use them, right? But there's prophecies that have to come into play before these thermonuclear missiles hit. And we always bring this up, which is the mandatory MOTB, the charagma. The Lord have opened up his armory and have brought forth the weapons of his indignation. For this is the work of the Lord, Yahweh, power of hosts, and the land of the Chaldeans. So the Lord, Yahweh, is working through his son, Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai is working through the angels. And the angels are working through the men, right? To do what? To prophesy about the destruction of America. So there's an order of things that's taking place, right? That Yahweh Shai is doing in order to bring destruction unto this kingdom. You know, the prophets have to go out first. When the Lord about to destroy a kingdom, the prophets go out first and start giving that warning. And that warning is ultimately going out to the elect and the 1/3, right? So, I mean, yeah, you people live it up, man. You know, keep building your big old houses and your do complexes and your townhouses and your big corporations, and, you know, keep dancing, singing, and jiving and doing all the things that you're doing, because you people are about to be totally caught off guard for what's coming, man. It says, verse 26, come against her from the othermost border, open her storehouses, right? So is represented, her storehouse is represented as as like a storehouse for grain, for food, like when the land of Canaan went through the famine, and they gathered grain and they put it into storehouses to store it up. It says, come against her from the uttermost border, open her storehouses. cast her up as heaps and destroy her utterly. Let nothing of her be left. So nothing's going to be left of America, man. When this place is destroyed, you're not going to see a bit of this shit left, man. The bushes, right? The cockroaches. Nothing of America is going to be alive, right? The Lord is gonna well, let me rephrase that. I don't want to say nothing of America is gonna be alive, because you're gonna have the elites that are gonna go into captivity, and whoever survives the thermonuclear missiles are gonna go into captivity. That's of the other nations. But America itself will be destroyed. Will be nothing left of this place. All these buildings and light poles and bushes and Cox Communication and CenturyLink, right? Circle K's, and all this is going to be wiped off the face of the earth. Your vehicles, your diesels, all that, man. The Lord is really about to bring destruction. Verse 27, it says, slay all her bullocks, let them go down to the slaughter. Woe unto them, for their day is come, the time of their visitation, man. So other than that, I'm gonna end it from there and say Barakatah Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Lord willing, this was edifying. Shalom.